Yeah, Tim.
Hey,
How you doing, buddy?
good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Hey, Chad.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good, stud. How are you?
Good, man.
Good.
Yeah.
Dude, Mike, thanks so much, man.
Hey, you bet, man.
Setting this up, bro. Appreciate it very much.
No, I'm glad you guys can connect.
Yeah, I love it, dude.
I'm just going to get silent here and get out of your way.
All right, awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing your art with us and being able to have the moment to speak with you guys. So appreciate your time.
Dude, thank you, Tim, man. You kidding me? This is awesome, bro. This is a big honor for us, man. Thanks.
I want to I've been trying to, get more country music into our magazine. And just all of a sudden you guys showed up and I was like, this is perfect. I remember when I was younger, I was a pretty big, my parents would listen to country a lot. And then, we had a separation in our family. My parents broke up. And every time I would hear it, it fucking hurt me so much. I veered away from it for a while. But I am moving back in that direction. My wife is a big country fan, and you listen to Y2K country and on Sirius, and so anyways, yeah. So we're here with the brethren. How are you guys doing?
So we're doing great, man. I know right now Lonnie's in Oregon. I'm zooming in from Nashville. So but man, we've got so much stuff right now moving and irons in the fire, and it's really exciting for us right now, and just to be able to do something like this with you is pretty awesome. So thank you for letting us do this with you.
I appreciate your time. So we're here celebrating two singles you guys have out. One of them is If I Ain't Got You, and the other one is Loving in the Moment. Out of my favorite out of both of them is Loving in the Moment. I really feel that song. Take me through, you guys creating. Let's just start with If I Ain't Got You. Let's start with that. How did you guys? What was the infant thought behind that song?
Well, I think to even get started, and this is kind of going towards the question that you're asking right now. Like the four of us, Lonnie, myself, Corey, and Casey, this has been a dream band that we've talked about for over a decade. We just had all been playing in other bands and moving all over the place, and just, we're all songwriters in our own right, and it's what we've all done and what we love doing. So March of last year was when Lonnie, Corey, and Casey flew here to Nashville from Oregon, and it was just purely, we got together based purely on the pandemic. The pandemic completely cleared out all of our touring schedules, our writing schedule. I mean, just everything just stopped, and so it was the first time that we could just come together and just play purely for the love of music. We had nobody telling us what to do, what to sound like, what to say. So we bought a bunch of booze and we just locked ourselves into a studio, and we were like little kids again, playing with that same love and passion that we had, like when I started playing drums when I was 7 years old, I couldn't get enough of it. I just wanted to play. So it was just kind of like, we had no, there was no hey, let's do this. Let's go take over the world. Let's go, start a band. It was purely to play for the love of music. And the songs that we wrote in those 3 days that we were cooped up in that studio, afterwards, after listening to the stuff that we did, and that's where I Ain't Got You, Living in the Moment, that's where those songs came from. It was just wow, there's something here that's worth pursuing. And so that's really the start of where I Ain't Got You came from. I mean, it was just us just being locked up in the studio, and And it would, a lot of the songs would just start like, whether it was me or Corey or Lonnie or Casey, with just like, hey, I've got this idea that I've just been messing around with. And like some of the songs we would pass on, but most of the songs were like, hey, that's really cool, let's run with that. And so we would just jam and play. And then all of a sudden it was like the melodies were there, the lyrics were there. But out of all the songwriting sessions that I've ever done in my entire life, like Down on Music Row, where it's just, you're in the small room with a couple acoustic guitars or a small room with an upright piano, writing together with the four of us, with the respect that all of us had for each other. Man, I can't even put into words of like how comfortable it was and how fast these songs came. I've never written or been a part of anything that came just, it was so natural. And there was just a lot there. And, you know, and even like with us doing this and releasing I Ain't Got You and, you know, living in the moment, loving in the moment, you know, if this thing just kind of fizzled out or what, we would still do this purely because we love it. And we've all been in those bands and those situations where, you know, somebody walks in the room or that band member and they suck the air out of the room and everybody's walking on eggshells. This is the first time I've been in a group where it hasn't been like that, you know. It's pretty freaking cool. And dude, this is the most fun I've ever had playing music. And so going back to your question, I Ain't Got You, it was really just started with, let's just play for the love of music, and with nobody, no A&R guy, no label, sorry, Mike, no management, no, but like it came from a pure place. And that's what was really, really special about the songs that we wrote and that we're releasing right now.
So when you guys are saying, when you're saying a decade in creating this, finally getting this off the floor, is that always been, because you guys come from different varieties of music, has it always been country in your head?
That's the crazy thing is because some of us have been in rock and roll, some of us have done both rock and roll and country, some of us done pop. But that's the thing, it's like when we got together for the first time, like March of last year, we didn't come together like, let's do a country band or let's do a rock band. This is stuff that came from like us growing up in the church, because all of our dads are preachers. We're all preachers' kids. Partly why we're so screwed up today.
I was gonna be a priest before this. So
really?
Yeah, I swear to God, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, so like, you know, I think that's where a lot of this, what was so cool about this and so natural about this was the sound of Loving in the Moment and I Ain't Got You and My Baby and other songs that are coming. That's what just came out. So it was pretty cool to just see what happened with no real direction.
Yeah, and no egos too, Tim. That's a difficult thing, you know, in a band. Is the whole ego thing destroys artists, destroys bands, and with the respect that we have for each other as just brothers and as blood, that alone itself, dude, it just squashed any ego whatsoever. And then just so excited about being with each other. And that was like the big thing in that. And the most important thing to us was like, we get to be with each other and we get to hang out and we get to do this thing that we were born to do. And it was so exciting from the first note that we played together. Everything just wrote itself. And you hear that every once in a while. And it was something so different. And then the story that we were bringing to the table with two sets of brothers from the same small town in the mountains in Oregon is something that we just haven't seen much before, you know, and until now. And I think that's what's been so intriguing to the planet so far with the brethren is they haven't seen two sets of brothers come together like this and make this kind of music at this level. So we're just like, it's rolling. We're not even having to push the rock down the hill, Tim. It's just rolling and it's writing itself. And that's the beautiful thing about it. I think that's what people will gravitate to with us is they can feel our heart, our passion, and our love for just being brothers and just for being blood.
And so,
Yeah, and-
I know you talked about egos and crushing. I mean, is the egos being crushed because the big brothers in the group? Like big brothers are known for smashing those egos. I'm just saying.
What's funny is like, yes, we do argue and we, you know, we have our brotherly moments.
You guys wrestle?
Well, but no, the thing though with this group is just the respect that we have for one another, and that, you know, if I come out with an idea and Corey, our lead singer, if he's like, no, I'm not connecting with that, what about this? It's cool. Like I'm not butthurt about it. Like I'm cool with, you know, we have a thing within our band that it's called Dare to Suck. And it means like when we're writing, like if I'm thinking something,
Awesome.
I'm going to say it, because even though it might suck and it might be terrible, it might spark an idea for Lonnie or Corey or Casey to, oh, dude, okay, what about this? Not that, but what about this? And if I wouldn't have said that, it wouldn't have sparked this other idea. So, you know, it's to that ego thing. And one quick story about a little ego thing. Just recently, we had a music video that we shot, and we got the first take of it. And the way it was edited, the song was just about heartbreak and about just being thankful for a heartbreak because of what you currently have now. And the video showed Corey, you know, walking, doing a lot of the singing, but a lot of the images of the band were us just laughing, like having a good time. But us laughing had nothing to do with like how the lyric and what the lyric meant in the song. So just the idea of like, hey, let's take us out of it. Let it just be Corey, and like, let it just be him. And I think, you know, and Corey was a little hesitant. I'm like, I don't want anybody to feel weird about that if it is just me. But like, if we were all 20 years old, we would have been arguing and pissed off and yelling at each other and gotten our feelings hurt. But right now, like we just want what's best for the song. Like, you know, we've been in this long enough to where it's all about the song, and it's what's best for the song, period.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys are based out of Oregon. I'm just curious. Is there a good country like following up there?
Well, there is in the Northwest, Tim. It's crazy, like the country fans, because a lot of Oregon itself is really country, a lot of farmers too and stuff like that. But we're based out of Nashville, but we're all from Oregon. So yeah, Mike, our manager, he's based out of there. Our publicist, they're all based out of Nashville. So we're from Oregon, but we're based out of Nashville. And we do, I think a lot of our music, and we've heard this before, that because of the grunge scene that is the Northwest, when people think of music in the Northwest, they're thinking Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. You know, I think even in our writing that has come out of these sessions, although it's country, I think there's still, because we're from the Northwest, there's got this little bit of grunge feel that you can't deny in some of the songs.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see. So some people are saying it's kind of like grunge country, if you will, you know, and that's a lot of fun to see, kind of our roots, because we are Northwest boys, come out in our music. So that's a lot of fun.
It's awesome. Okay, I think I have one more. I had one in my head. I can't remember it. So I'm gonna get into, I'll touch back on it. I should have wrote it down, but I'm gonna get into getting to know you guys now as individuals, as a band. And so I just have some questions. So they're gonna be faster questions. If you had a fantasy concert and you can pick 3 people, alive or dead, to perform at this concert, what is this concert? Who is a part of this concert?
Dude, this is awesome, man. Alive or dead. Growing up in gospel music, Elvis was a big part too of like some of that because of his gospel albums. We couldn't listen to much secular music growing up because it's preacher's kids, pretty conservative home, you know, but we did have some Elvis in there. So Elvis would be one of mine, dude. I'd freak out, dude, if we were playing like on the same stage as Elvis. That would be like huge, huge for me. That's my first one. Chad, you go.
I mean, don't shoot me here, because I hardly ever listen to this style of music, but like John Denver was, when I first heard, somebody told me about him, and I just always thought like John Denver, like, no, I just want to listen to Led Zeppelin. And I remember I got his greatest hits, and I started from track 1 and I listened through the whole thing. And I grabbed the guitar and I just started learning every one of the songs. And I don't know if it was just from where I was at that time in my life, but like, I felt the pain, I felt the ache, I felt the hurt. And I've taken a lot from that of man, like when I'm writing, if I can just make someone feel anything, I've done my job. Because how many songs do you hear that's out there that it's just noise and you don't feel anything? And for me, like, that's just been so important of like, if I can make someone feel, you know, like can feel pain, if I can make somebody happy, if I can make somebody feel melancholy, whatever, any of these feelings, then for me as a writer, like I did my job, you know, and it's, I think it's kind of more rare these days. And
Loving in the
for us
moment.
as a band, like
Feel, man.
For us as a band, like we're just, okay, that moves me. Let's go with that. Let's do that. And so, you know, when we write too, you know, we write as a band. It's not us just sitting in a room with an acoustic guitar like people do here in Nashville these days. I mean, it's a full band, everything's turned up, and it's a lot of fun. And every once in a while too, we'll bring in like some of our friends that are big time A-list writers, you know, they'll come sit in and we'll write with them. And they're just like, dude, I don't know why people don't do this. Like, this is so much fun, but it's just the way that we do it. And yeah, I would say John Denver for me.
Yeah, totally.
Lonnie?
And then, dude, and then Shania Twain is my second. When Shania Twain, dude, just freak. When that record came out with Mutt Lange, he produced that album of hers, with the I Feel Like a Woman and all of that. My gosh, I was like, what the freak is this? This is.
I felt like a woman.
We'll keep that on the down low.
Yeah,
Tim, strike that quick. But dude, Shania Twain, my gosh, bro, I lost my mind with Shania. And then the Foo Fighters, man, I'm such a huge Dave Grohl fan. The Foo Fighters, to this day, one of my favorites, dude, of all time.
It's just interesting though, like back in the day where it was, you were either just a country music fan or a hip hop fan or a Christian music fan or pop fan. But man, it is so different now. It is, you will see every genre of every music in the majority of you know, the music that people listen to. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's too why we're kind of all over the place. I mean, you know, growing up in the church, we weren't even allowed to listen to Christian rock. And the funny thing is, one of the first bands Lonnie used to play for was a band that he got in trouble for listening to when he was in high school, because they were a Christian rock band called Petra. And for me, I'll never forget my junior year in high school. I had a friend of mine that played in his car. We were heading to lunch. He played Kashmir from Led Zeppelin. And I was just like, hold on a second. What is this? Because I need more of that. I don't know what it is, but I got to have more. But I'll just never forget that feeling of that, you know. And another band for me would be Alice in Chains. That was, God, man, that Dirt record. And again, that was probably in a time of kind of my life, but it's interesting to see all these different kinds of music, whether it's, you know, Elvis, Shania Twain, Alice in Chains. I mean, we're all over the place. But kind of how it's kind of formed and morphed us to where we are currently right now as a band.
That's awesome. What is your mom or dad's signature dish?
Ooh, that enchiladas, dude. Our Chapin enchiladas is my mom's signature dish, dude. It's not like any other enchilada that you've ever had, and for some reason, it was a Chapin recipe, and it just kind of came up through the ranks, from great grandma to our mom. And dude, every time we're like with mom, she's got to make the enchiladas, dude, or else we start burning the house down. So yeah, that's it.
Chad?
I mean, I was gonna say enchiladas too. I think I gotta stick with that. That's like whenever we go home and we're with mom, I mean, that's kind of what we're all sitting around twirling our thumbs waiting for.
All right. When you brush your teeth, what tooth or teeth do you brush first?
Nice. Yeah, I have
Me too.
can you go front?
Yeah.
Go front and then left.
I've got one of those electric ones that just go 1,000 miles an hour. So if you were to try that, I would spray everything all over the bathroom. So I start with my back lower left. Start in there, and you got to do it with your mouth closed, like I said, or it's just toothpaste, dude, just spackled all over the mirror. It's bad. It's really bad.
All right. How did you almost die?
How to almost die. Chad and I, we both bungee jumped before, so that would consider pretty close.
Yeah.
I remember when we went bungee jumping too, there was this dude that went right before us, and he was a larger bro. He was larger. And so we were just like, all right, this is a good tester to see what happens. We'll let him go first. So he did, and sure enough, one of those bungees, because there's several of them that are all tied together, which give them their strength. But one of the ones just went poosh as soon as he went down. And after that, I think that Chad and myself were both like, maybe we shouldn't do this, So, but we sucked it up and grew a pair and decided to go ahead and go for it. So,
I did pee a little though. I will say that.
Yeah, he
Not
did.
ashamed of it.
Chad pissed himself just a little bit.
What is do you guys have a ghost story? We just exited Halloween, and I was wondering if you have a ghost story.
Man, I don't.
I had a dream once that, and trust me, Tim, she was hot. Dude, this ghost was so hot, bro. And I woke up and I was like, yeah, this isn't good.
I need more ghosts in my life.
I need more ghosts in my life, dude. What that is.
And then my last question is, if you had any superpower, what would you choose?
Oh, man,
for me,
I would love to fly. I think that would just be so cool. I've had dreams about it, of me flying and then waking up just going like, what? You mean I'm stuck in gravity now?
Gravity.
Mine would be flying.
Yeah, mine would be invisible, so I could terrorize Chad in the middle of the night. And he would freak the fuck out, Tim.
It's the biggest revenge ever, right? If you're invisible, like anybody who does you wrong, you can just scare them.
Dude, anybody. And they're wigging out, bro. Oh yeah.
I'd be slinging flour all over the room, trying to find them.
Exactly.
All right, gentlemen, before we end this, what do you guys have coming up? And is there anything else that we might have missed?
Yeah, Tim, real quick with Lovin' in the Moment, this as our second single being released, that really kind of came when Chad had this certain idea, like he had mentioned before, and he brought it to one of those sessions that we were writing in Nashville, and he had the idea, and it spawned out of I think the pandemic of you've heard the old saying, like living in the moment. And I think maybe that during this pandemic, that's where we've kind of gone wrong to a little bit. We've just succumbed to just living as opposed to loving in the moment. I think that's where we're at now as a society also. It's like we forgot to love and we just decided to exist. And so if we can get back to loving.
Awesome, Lonnie.
Loving in this moment, dude. regardless of heartbreak, regardless of loss in your past, you can't change that. And you can't see the future either. But if we love in the moment, dude, with the people around us and the breath that has been given to us, I think this world will change, man, and our country will change, regardless of your political view, your religious view, any of that. If we get back to just loving in the moment, then we're going to be okay.
Yeah, and just add one quick thing to that too is, and I think is so important, is that we forgive ourselves. You know,
Yeah.
yes, we're told that we're supposed to forgive others and all that, but like, what about us? Like, what about, you know, I have to forgive myself, you know, of my past mistakes in order to be able to move on. Because if I don't, man, I'm stuck, and I'm going to stay stuck until I can actually, you know, truly, genuinely forgive myself and just move on. And that's hard, man. That is hard to do.
It is.
But man, I think that's important too. But yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you. I think we said it all, right?
Yeah.
Lonnie, those words that you just said, I'm gonna forever have that ringing in my head. That is so well thought out. It is very intelligent and loving and smart. So thank you. That really made my day.
Thanks, man. We appreciate that. And thank you for your time today, Tim.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got a third single that we're going to release here next Tuesday, which we're so stoked about. And it's just fantastic. We can't wait for the world to hear this, man, because it's going to move people, man. And we're excited about that.
Well, I love you guys and I support you
Yeah.
guys. I believe in you guys. Go get it. Go have fun. Show the world what they're missing, because
Well,
Thank you, Tim. We love you, bro. Thank you so much for this opportunity, my friend.
thank you so much. And God bless. And we'll talk to you soon.
Done.
good, bud.
Peace.
Bye.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.